So let's start with the Singapore Services and Digital Technology Roadmap. So this is a technology roadmap, right, for the IC, for your equivalent sector, your call ICT sector. So in Singapore, we call it ICM, Information Technology and Media. So because we merged two government agencies together some time ago, right? So the Singapore transformation is driven by the Future Economy Council, right? So this is the highest level, right, in terms of driving the economy, right, for improvements or modernizing of the Singapore economy and so on. And everything actually comes under this council: Industry 4.0, climate change, right, productivity, uh, skills future, talent development, research and development, right, all come under this council. And it's chaired by the Deputy Prime Minister, right, and also the Coordinating Minister for Economic Policies, Mr. Heng Swee Keat, right. And like MPC, like your Malaysia, right, the council comprises of government agencies, right, ministries, industry, unions. So we have unions, worker union participating, and also the education and training institutions. This refers to the Institute of Higher Learning, the polytechnics and the universities. And we have six economic cluster, right? And each of them chaired by a Minister of State and overseeing 23 industry sectors. So ITMs are developed for each of the 23 industry sectors. So we have 23 ITM altogether. And the IMDA is actually the agency overseeing ICM, information technology and media, overseeing the digital technology roadmap. So actually this roadmap, right, although it's developed for the ICM sector, it applies to every other sector because the ICM industry support all other sectors in Singapore, right? And the development of and implementation of the digitalization roadmap is done progressively in key industry sector. So we do not have the digitalization roadmap for all 23 sector, but then they will continue to identify key sectors, right, to develop this digitalization roadmap. The Future Economy Council, right, what are their strategies? So there are 7 of them. So deepen and diversify our international connections. So Singapore is a small country. We have very little natural resources, right? So we rely on international business. So our focus is on international connections and acquire and utilize deep skills. So we go deep into technology, deep into certain field and so on. So we have this skill future agency that takes care of talent and skills development, right? So and there is also a national skills framework, right, developed, and training providers, right, and companies can actually tap on this skills framework, right, to develop their workers. Strengthen enterprise capability through to innovate and scale up. So the Enterprise Singapore role, right, is to provide funding, right, for company to adopt new technology, to engage consultants, to engage technical solution provider to innovate and scale up their operations. And the number 4 is to build strong digital capability. So this is one of the strategy. and to develop a vibrant and connected city of opportunity, right? So this is connected to the Smart City 2.0 initiative in Singapore. And the committee also look at development and implementation of industry transformation maps and partner each other to enable innovation and growth. So the public private sector partnership has been much improved right over the last few years. So they are looking at supporting private enterprises, right? Supporting large company or small companies in Singapore to collaborate, right? To innovate and growth. So because I think they realize that the government cannot do everything. So our targeted growth rate is 2 to 3% a year on an average. So lower than Malaysia. Malaysia is 3.6. Right? So, okay, and these are the 6 clusters and 23 industry sector. So, and we have the ICM digital technology roadmap supporting the entire 23 cluster and those who are not in the cluster. So we do not have a specific government agency looking at a particular sector, but when they develop initiative, it applies to all, right? And of course, when it comes to customizing the solutions, right, the different cluster and industry sectors get involved. So you can see that the services industry is spread all over the 6 different clusters that we have, right? So lifestyle, actually Enterprise Singapore takes care of lifestyle. Their key mandate is to look at lifestyle. Then we have other government agencies to look at other areas. So, okay, so, and the previous Infocom maps, right? Last time they are called Infocom Authority, but now they changed to Infocom and Media Authority. So now it's ICM. So we started as early as 2002. So you can see that the plan actually changes very fast because digital technology move very fast. So whenever new emerging technology comes in, right, the IMDA will actually look at it and they will try to review the plans accordingly. So in the 7th plan, right, in 2015, they look at these 6 areas: big data analytics, Internet of Things, right, future communication. So cyber security is key because we got hacked. We got hacked 2 years ago. Cognitive, right, computing, advanced robotics, and immersive media. So media have actually undergone many changes. I used to train people from the media corporation, and a lot of them are losing their jobs because of the social media. Right? People are publishing their videos on YouTube and other channels and so on. So people are not watching the TV, and because they are not watching, advertisers are not advertising enough, right? So so and of course we went into revising the technology roadmap. So the 8th IT roadmap has been established, and this time round, right, they actually include services. Services, right? They call it SDE, Services Digital Economy Technology Roadmap. So the objective, right, of the services and digital economy technology roadmap they have 3 objectives. One is to identify key trends that will impact the digital economy. So we'll look at emerging technology, right? So what is emerging, right? And also to manage the opportunities and challenges, right? So over here, right, you see this is from the 2015 plan. So And from there, right, they actually study that within these 6 areas, what else can they do, right? What else need to be changed, and what are some of the priority technology areas that Singapore should actually go into, right, at the national level. So the objective number 2 is to refresh the ICM 2050 technology roadmap. So this is developed in 2015, right? And the third one is the recommendations to support digital transformation of industry sector. So this particular technology roadmap is on my Padlet platform. You can actually download it. And these are the 9 technological trends identified, right? And we feel that it will impact the digital economy in Singapore. So you can see that we can have pervasive adoption of AI, right? More empathic, connective, and effective AI. So AI is one of the key area, right? For example, if we submit IT projects for funding, it must contain AI. Otherwise, you can't get through, right? The Enterprise Singapore's, assessment, right? Greater human machine collaboration. So this is one area that worries our worker also, right? Because machine can replace human. So how can we make sure that our workers will still be hired at the same time they actually are augmented, right? Using machines to help them perform better. The more natural technology interface. So the technology need to be talking to each other. So it's not to remain in silo, right? Greater use of codeless development tools. So we find it very difficult to hire real IT native talents. Actually, we hire a lot of foreigners, but then that create a lot of social unhappiness in Singapore. So one of the way is to make the development tools codeless, so that any person, right, with a little bit of IT knowledge can do coding or can develop sort of products or develop tools to help them. More seamless service, right, enabled by service, XaaS, everything as a service, XaaS, everything as a service. So Singapore has no natural resources. So what we can provide is services. So in the later slides, we'll talk about this. Cloud deployment matures with hybrid and multi-cloud system. So the Singapore has been promoting the usage of cloud, right? For many years already. So when it goes, anything that can go onto a cloud can be interconnected, right? So that is the idea. So when it's interconnected, right, everyone in the world can access. So that is the key to this cloud deployment. So tools like robotic process automation can be used to automate the cloud operations easily, right? So that actually is one of the very important strategy that Singapore is adopting. It is actually blockchain that decentralized trust. Blockchain is quite still new in Singapore, right? We have applied blockchain to issue certificates by the Institute of Higher Learning, by universities, polytechnic, and so on. So it goes on to the blockchain system. So for fintech, maybe blockchain is still not that common in Singapore. But then there's a lot of development going on for fintech, right? And 9 is API economy takes off, right? Application program interface economy. So API is actually some okay, the access, right? The interface access to certain computer programs that is on cloud. So so this is the 9 technological trends that Singapore has identified. And of course, the new technological trends has posed opportunity and challenges for Singapore, right? Singapore is undergoing growth saturation, right? And COVID-19 actually make it worse. So, and that's why, in fact, government agencies, all government agencies encourage companies to go global. So, and going global, there's a lot of challenges and costs involved and so on, risks and so on, right? So, again, right, maybe the digitalization and the cloud channel can actually help our companies to globalize their operations. And the opportunity, right, would be value creation, right? So, for example, in 2016, value added due to services is about 74% of Singapore's GDP, increasing from 66% in 1996. So, so you can see that Singapore is being driven into the service economy, right? For the companies, right, there's this challenge of business disruption. So 1 in 5 SMEs in Singapore view disruptive technology as their key business challenge, right? And also race to the bottom, right? 66% of Singapore business expect to lose their customers, right? Due to technology adoption. So, but on the other hand, the opportunity, it can give a higher growth, right? And it is proven that top innovative companies grow by 3.5 to 5.5 percentage points faster compared to those, right, who doesn't adopt technology, right? Again, there's opportunity, right, to improve productivity as the automation from digitalization, right, can improve productivity by 2 times at least in future. And for workers, right, the challenges is a large percentage of jobs in Singapore are expected to be replaced by automated processes and robots. I'm also training our union leaders in Singapore, and I have to stress that digitalization will not actually take away their jobs. So the opportunities will be new enhanced jobs. So again, right, workers, they need to embrace technology, right, and operate above technology. For example, programming a machine or programming programming a software, right, or maybe to augment themselves by using technology to enhance their capability, right, to improve their performance. Also, so of course, the new technological trend, right? If you look at it positively, these are the opportunities. And so the emergence and the need for response to services 4.0, right? So for services share of GDP in the world, right, in the past is 59%. So currently it's 69%, right? In ASEAN alone, right, is from 48%, it has risen to 53%. So Singapore alone, right, is 66%, right? To here, this is maybe the timing of the statistics. Right now it's 74%. Then you look at the services share of employment. In the past, right, the services higher 39%. So now it's 49% in the world. 34% up to 46% for ASEAN alone, right? And for Singapore, 69 to 74%, right? So a lot of our workers are in actually the services sector per se. Okay, and servitization is on the rise, right? Instead of product, right, we are moving towards the next generation services. So the ownership of assets, right, will become assets, right, over ownership, right? So we don't need to own the asset, right, in order to provide the service. So we are assessing the asset over ownership, right? Low cost and high volume, right, with standard output. So the next generation of services will be co-create and hyper-personalized. So no more mass production of services. It has to be customized, right? And you have to collaborate, right, to co-create services. One-off transaction, right, upfront payment, right? So now it become an outcome-based pricing, right? Subscription-based or pay per use, right? I have actually helped in the running of a private school, and we need a learning management system, and that is a charity school, and as a charity we don't have the budget, so we actually work with the vendor to subscribe to their pay as you use learning management system. For every trainee, right, we enroll, right, we only pay maybe $3, right, for their service, and they take care of everything. This concept has also been applied to the cleaning sector, the sector that cleans building and so on. So the contract are actually outcome-based pricing. So they don't specify the details, right? In the past, it's sell and forget, right? Integration into the customer's business, right, and consumer personal life, right? So you don't just sell, but then you sell the service and you continue to provide the service. Selling products, right, now we sell solutions. So this is a shift, right, to the next generation service. Some has happened, some have not. So that's why there's opportunities. And we need to go borderless. So Singapore is a small country, right? We need to go borderless in our data. We need to go borderless in our service, right? We also need to go borderless in our people, right? The the COVID-19 pandemic make everyone realize that we can hire a person overseas as an employee of the organization, and they are connected online. Also, there are tools, right, and software available to manage your employees who are stationed at their overseas home, right? So, so in it will be a borderless people, no? So I think this is an opportunity and a threat. So people might lose jobs, right? People might hire a person, for example, in a less developed nation at a cheaper rate compared to the local Singaporean. So that is a threat to workers. But then, of course, the opportunity is a Singaporean can work in the US, right? By observing the working hours and by observing, like using online means. So this actually gives a lot of opportunity, right, for people, right, in Singapore.